Hello, I'm Dr. Manuel Saldivar. I'm a cognitive psychologist and a university faculty member. On this channel, I focus on ideas and concepts that will help you become more successful as a college student. Please join me for today's episode. Today's episode will look at the issue of mindset. Your mindset is the basic or fundamental way in which you look at life and at the world around you. Psychologists divide this concept into two different approaches, two different kinds of mindset exist: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is, as it suggests, fixed. Someone with a fixed mindset might encounter problems or challenges or have difficulties in life, and their reaction or their way of thinking when these things happen is, I can never become more than I already am now. If I have a problem I've never solved before and I don't know how to solve it right now at this moment, I'll never be able to solve it. I'll never be smart enough to do this. I'll never be as smart as other people. I can't do this. It's too hard. I'll never be good at it. So the takeaway here is that a fixed mindset kind of traps you because you tend to believe, or you convince yourself, that whatever bad things are happening or whatever difficult or challenging things you have to do, like graduate from college, that for whatever reasons you try and name or list, that this task, this challenge is beyond you, and there's nothing you can do to be able to meet that challenge or be able to accomplish that task. In contrast, someone with a growth mindset looks at the world and thinks, I can change and grow into someone stronger. Now, people with growth mindsets certainly don't know everything or have all the answers, and neither are they 100% successful at everything they do. But because they look at the world in a different way, because they think and believe it is possible to change, it is possible to learn new things, to get better at things, then when they encounter challenges or problems, they tend to think things like, well, everyone has a talent. Other people might be different from me and better at certain things, but there are probably things that I'm good at that other people maybe are not so good at. When I have a challenge, I'll have to keep trying, but I'm still learning. I'm going to give myself a break because I am still learning how to do certain things. I'm going to invest time in practicing. Practicing will make things easier. This may take time and effort. I'm going to make mistakes, but if I can learn from those mistakes, that will help me get better. I might try different things in order to be able to become more successful, to be able to accomplish things, to solve problems, do whatever it is I want to do. So again, the basic contrast here, as you can see from this graph on the screen, is a fixed mindset tends to sort of give up very easily and feel like whatever a challenge or problem is, that it's ultimately insurmountable, that there's something deficient about you and you can't ever really be able to learn to meet that challenge. Whereas a growth mindset might acknowledge that you have a problem or a challenge and that it will take time and effort to be able to accomplish something. But nonetheless, if you make an effort, if you invest time, if you try, you can change things. You can get better. You can learn how to do things maybe you weren't able to do before. Sorry for the interruption, but if you're enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for notifications. We know that individuals who have a growth mindset tend to be much better problem solvers. This seems pretty straightforward, right? If your attitude is, I have a problem, I have a challenge, I am not good enough to address it, I don't know enough to address it, I'm just going to give up. Of course, if you have that mindset, you're going to have a lot of challenges. That would be a fixed mindset. But if you have a growth mindset about problems, if you think, okay, something I have to do I've never done before, I'm not quite sure how to do it, but I can find people to help me, I can teach myself, there are things I can do to control the outcome here, then you often will end up becoming a better problem solver in other parts of your life, in addition to just that particular challenge or issue you're trying to work on. You tend to become a more effective learner if you have a growth mindset. By more effective, I mean instead of just simply memorizing things, being able to rattle off facts and figures and vocabulary definitions, you actually understand the ideas that you're learning. You actually know how to apply those ideas to solve real problems. This is where the problem solving comes in, as opposed to being someone who, for example, goes through a semester in a college class just cramming everything, and then as soon as a test comes and goes, all that information goes poof because you never really learned it very deeply. You were just memorizing it and cramming it into your short-term memory long enough to survive the test. People with growth mindsets tend to report having higher self-esteem. Again, this makes sense, right? If you feel like you are good at solving problems, if you feel like you're learning or are able to learn about the world around you, especially stuff related to whatever your career or profession is going to be, then that should make you happier and feel like you are a competent person, a capable person, because you're able to do these things. And then finally, people with a growth mindset, we know, tend to have improved relationships with other people. A lot of the challenges that human beings encounter in dealing with one another come from misunderstanding, from fear, from resentment. But if you're confident in who you are as a person, if you have high self-esteem, if you know that you are a capable person, that extra confidence typically will lead you to be able to deal with other people in better ways too, because you're not assuming that other people are looking down on you or don't respect you. And so this can have a wide-ranging number of positive effects, a major one being improvements in terms of your relationships with others. Let me briefly review our discussion for today on mindset. First, we talked about the differences between a fixed and growth mindset. And then I covered some of the benefits that have been identified by psychologists of having a growth mindset. These include better problem-solving abilities, the ability or the capability of being a more effective learner. Instead of just memorizing, you actually know what you're talking about. Higher self-esteem tends to come from people that have growth mindsets. And then finally, people with growth mindsets report that they tend to have better relationships with others. Again, if you have a good level of self-esteem, of confidence, if you know yourself well as a person, that often makes it more straightforward for you to be able to deal with other people, even if they're not close friends, even if they're just professional acquaintances, professors, people like that. They're not your best buddies. But if you know yourself well, if you know what you're capable of, if you know your strengths and weaknesses, and these things tend to come from having a growth mindset, then often this will result in a general strengthening of your relationships with other people. I hope you found this information in today's episode helpful. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll click on the thumbs up icon below. And if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications by clicking on the bell icon. YouTube will notify you of future videos added to this channel. Remember, college success is challenging, it takes work and effort, but it is certainly within your grasp. Good luck.